Hello everybody, Ian Robson here, and welcome back to European Truck Simulator 2, ETS2. Today we are in the Baltic Sea DLC once again, and we are going from Pskov to I'm not sure how to say that, Rezetny, in Latvia. I actually had to go into the map to see which places were actually brand new in the Baltic DLC, and this is one of the places. So we just came from Pskov, and I think that I can't remember if I did it on camera or not. And now we're going to Rezetny. Not sure. Anyways, we're taking some precast stairs there. Let's go ahead and get started. There we go. Alright. As you see, we're rocking our same little trailer there. I like this combination for some reason. Almost hit the fence there. There we go. Give that car who kind of slipped in the side there a little bit of extra room. But so far, it's funny. I'm comparing this kind of like expansion to the Oregon expansion. But the one thing you have to remember in this scenario is that Russia is very different, or let's say this particular area is very different than speeding offense. What was I doing? 48 in a 40 zone. Really? Okay, whatever. So there you go. You can get speeding tickets in Russia apparently. So didn't think it was possible, but apparently it is. Yeah. Anyways, I was comparing the two DLCs, and the one thing you have to remember is like it's very different. Like the landscape. There we go. That's the right word I'm looking for. Sheesh. The landscape that you see is very different in one versus the other, right? It's like a compound there. Jeez. So on the one hand here you have like very industrial, like kind of pictures and compounds and stuff like that, whereas in Oregon you don't see that really. Okay, clear on that side. There we go. And you don't really see that so much in Oregon, of course. And also the way it's kind of like the greenery and whatnot isn't exactly the same here as it would be in Oregon either. So those things to consider when you're looking at this versus like the Oregon, of course. Not the Oregon, Oregon. There we go. So that's one thing I have to keep in mind as well, because they are very different places, so you have to expect things that are quite different in there. So we're exploring a different part of the DLC, which is Latvia. There we go. That was St. Petersburg, looks like. We're exploring Latvia, or this particular town in Latvia, Rezetny. Or no, I said it wrong again. Anyways, this is our left up here, it looks like. Wait for that truck to go. Oh, okay. Thanks for no. Here we go. So, we're kind of exploring the different section of the DLC, just to see you know, what if the environment changes and what's interesting about it. So the thing I'm kind of trying to determine is there a wow factor? Because for me, for example, there was a wow factor when I was in Oregon for ATS, and that's probably because it's such a, I think partially the reason why is because there's such a vast difference in comparison to the other states. So you have like California, you have New Mexico, you have Arizona, so it's a lot of like deserty areas. So when we got to see those that lush green area of the Oregon, don't know why I keep saying the Oregon, goodness gracious, of Oregon, it was kind of interesting just to kind of compare that. So I think that's partially the reason why there was such a large wow factor here. But one thing I was really excited about in this particular DLC was, of course, St. Petersburg. I don't know why I was so excited about that, but I just remember the Russian map from ETS2 when it was part of when it was part of a mod that you could download as opposed to a DLC. So, but now, of course, it's part of a DLC, which is pretty awesome. And again, when you compare this map, like this is, I'm playing vanilla right now, FYI. Like this is how much there is. Apparently I haven't been down there, not with this character at least. This is how big this place is now. Like it's ridiculous. So you have so many different countries in here in comparison to ATS. Like, we're only scratching the surface over here, and this is the places we just started. We started in St. Petersburg there, we made our way down to Luga, and we're going to Pskov, and now we're heading down to Latvia in Rezeknik. So there you go. And there's quite a few other places, of course. So they released an Italian DLC, which is why there's some places that aren't discovered down there. Released a France DLC. They rehashed a couple places in Germany as well. England, I don't think they've touched much. No, that's not true. I guess they added some places up in here, in Scotland and whatnot. So, and then of course the Scandinavian DLC, which is in this area. So they've added quite a few DLCs over time, but it just reminds you of like how big ETS2 is in comparison to ATS right now. Yeah, I'll have to remember though, it's been around for a lot longer now, so that's partially the reason why. You know, ATS is slowly expanding things and adding things into the game itself. So eventually we'll see perhaps some sort of similar magnitude as we do in ETS. Although I don't think it'll ever be quite the same, because in terms of the timelines when the games were released, one versus the other. So always something to keep in mind, that's for sure. So alright, coming up on here, 70 kilometers an hour. That's good. There's still little things, like a few things that I kind of I'm sad that they never brought to ETS. One, for example, the cabin accessories DLC. I don't know why they never brought it. Oh wow, really? I was doing 7. Oh, it changed to 60. Those lights on that crossing just turned as I was driving past it. All right, okay, we'll take it down a notch. So you can get tickets apparently over here. I've gotten 2 so far. Got a green light there, this is good. Checking out some of them. What on earth is that? It's like a parachute or something. That's crazy. So yeah, those are the kind of things you need to consider when you're looking at the 2 DLCs, or the 2 games. That ETS has been around significantly longer than ATS, and because of that you're going to always have a bit more content, and I believe ETS still is their bread and butter. Oh wow, what's with these varying like speed changes? Like, oh, that's annoying. Let's go from 60 down to 70, down to 60. Thanks for the heads up, buddy. Jeez, surprised we didn't smash into him. Yeah. Anyways, but those things I have to keep in my mind when I am playing this game, because it is, you know, it is quite different. The driving aspect, even I guess sometimes I think the driving aspect's exactly the same, but it's not. There are some pretty big differences, and like for example, the style of trucks and the way you drive the truck is the biggest difference. And, well, at least I drive it very differently as well. In terms of like, wow, really 60? Let's leave it at 65. This is ridiculous. It keeps shifting between 60 and 70 like repeatedly. Anyways, so I drive like in ETS I drive automatic, in ATS I drive standard for some reason. At least now that there's 2 different games. Before I used to drive standard all the time in ETS. But I just thought, hey, let's differentiate the games even more. Alright. Here's our turn up here. So I don't know, it helps to kind of like separate the games, because sometimes like these 2 games can feel very similar, so I go out of my way to make them. Is that a cow? A single cow underneath some power lines, not fenced in at all. Okay, guess they really embrace that free range thing over here. And look at these cities. Oh no! Oh my goodness! Oh goodness! And now it's 60 again. Can't win today, not with speed at least. Just taking a look, just absorbing all the sights, and here are people just handing me tickets left, right, and center this morning. Jeez, can't believe that. So, yeah, but anyways, one of the cool little things I noticed, if you go to the European Truck Simulator DLC page and click on the Baltic Sea DLC, one of the pictures they have in there is all the cities that were added to the DLC. So if you're curious as to whether or not a city is part of the DLC or not, you can definitely just go on that one page and check it out. Which is why that's basically what I did to figure out whether the city I was going to was a new city or not. So there's lots of places in ETS lots of roads I haven't been to yet. So like on this map, I don't know, because I've switched between like multiplayer and single player. So each profile has some different areas explored, so that's probably why some of the map on this isn't explored, but I did some of that in multiplayer, so etc, etc. So there we go, staying at 70 here, just so we don't get a ticket again. We'll watch it drop down to 60 and there'll be a cop right there as soon as it gets in the 60 zone. Guarantee it. There was I don't know, for so far I haven't seen any warning either. I'm just like, oh hey, it's 60 kilometers an hour here, so oh goodness. Also, another news, still 70. Another news, they've actually added some other things to the Hunter Call of the Wild now. They added a new animal to the savannah, the African Virunga savannah map, which is kind of neat. And oh, okay, apparently I'm not going as fast. I got 3 speed tickets already, and they're not going fast enough. Can't win. How much further do I have to go? 50 kilometers. So, yeah, so they released a new animal there, which is kind of neat. And because of that, there's been some interesting videos coming out related to that. Because a lot of times when they release a new like significant patch like that, there's lots of bugs and whatnot that need to be worked out. Usually it's animals not moving around at all, sort of thing. So you get like a whole slew of animals that should have been scattered by at the time you get there, but they're not, which happens sometimes. So oh, that's a cool little area, little bridge there going over a small body of water, it looks like. So there's 60. I'm so used to Canada where it'll say, you know, it'll have a sign saying, you know, 60 coming up, okay, 60 now. I mean, you still miss it sometimes. Guess we're turning left here, because only trucks can go through this place over here. And this is a toll booth area. Guess we'll follow this truck. I don't think it really matters. Wow, look at this toll booth. They really don't want you to mess around here. Goodness gracious. Well, it's giving me an opportunity to drink some coffee. That's okay. Out of my cup there. Alright, moving on there. Oh no, this looks like something else actually. Yeah, I was wondering, I was like, this has to be, like, the sign doesn't say toll, it's a border check. Checking your documents, please wait. Reminds me of a game called Papers, Please. Oh wow, oof, this is taking a little bit longer than I wanted to. Ha 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 ha, we're just going to Latvia, don't mind us. Thank you. Everything is in order. Have a nice journey. Boissière, or Boisserie, I should say. That's kind of cool, because like there was that in the is he just taking a sleep there, or is he going around? He's going around, it looks like. Let's just see. Let's just get a quick little photo over here by our where they're checking our papers. Yeah, there's a game called Papers, Please, and part of your task in the game is to check people's papers and decide whether or not they are eligible to come into the country or not. There we go. That's kind of cool though. Got like these little stations here. That's a pretty beefy stop, but I guess if you know it's a border crossing, so it does make sense that it has some beefy security there. But I wasn't expecting quite so much of that. It looks like a barracks you're driving into. It's like, don't mess with us or else. That's funny. So yeah, what else they added? They don't add any other guns or anything like that to the game, but they added that one significant change. So it's kind of neat. Oh, they had some other things too, but they're not. Last video I saw, they weren't doing a very good job of working. Let's just say that. So it's yield sign. I don't know what this guy's yielding for. I don't see anything to yield to at this particular time. There we go. Look at this. Fences on both sides. I'm trying to think, the last time I crossed the United States, it was on a plane. So I guess if you think about the border crossing on a plane, it is, you know, pretty close to this. And what's this? This is the toll road booth area, or this is a Latvian border? Oh, we're trucks, so I guess we can go over here. What's that truck doing? Not following the rules, apparently. Papers, please. That'd be funny if things weren't. Hey, that truck. That's cool. Oops. That's what happens. You get distracted. Checking your papers. Please wait. See, there's cows in there. That's kind of neat. Everything's in order. Oh, thank goodness. Thank you. Perfect. It's funny that they have these, but it would be funny if every now and then your papers weren't in order, or you weren't up, like when you go to a weigh station in ATS, your weight wasn't appropriate, and you got like a fine, and just like a randomly generated thing. It'd just be kind of funny. Or make it into a mini game where you have to, like, you know, check the weights of your axles and whatnot in the game itself, or check your papers. It's a truck driving game in the end, so you don't want to go too crazy, but that would be kind of a funny little thing they add. It'd be like going to the weigh station ATS, being like, your gross weight is 105,000 pounds. You need to spread out your axles by, you know, XYZ, and then you can go into a mini game and then do that. I think it's possible. I don't know why it wouldn't be. That, or here's your fine of $1,000. But it'd be random. So, like, you know, maybe 10% of the time it would happen. The other 90% of the time it wouldn't happen. What's with all the traffic? I guess it is a border crossing. This is a teensy-wincy border crossing then. Look at this. Single lane traffic heading out. That's ridiculous. Well, I guess some of the smaller border crossings, but the amount of traffic that's here doesn't look like it's a small border crossing at all. Look at this. You want a cup of tea or some gasoline? No thanks. I don't think we need any gasoline. Eek. No, we're good. Got 3/4 of a tank still, so we're okay. Oh, goodness me. In other news, I finally got the last components of my new computer yesterday, which is pretty exciting, so I'll be probably putting that together this weekend, I suspect. Which will be fun. Assuming all goes well. I don't start pulling out my hair. We're not going to Riga. We are going to Razer. However you're supposed to say that. And our stop is right up here, and then straight ahead of us, basically. And what's this supposed to be? A bus stop? Yeah, I guess so. So the Baltic tourists, we've seen 12 of the 35 areas in the Baltic area, apparently. Not very many. Ooh, look at this. Fancy. That's a cool little lumber mill area. That's a pretty big one, actually. Of course, in Oregon, they have quite a few of those. They actually have a mission to go to all the different lumber mill areas. I think this is our turn up here. Better pay attention. Yeah, I think it is. More coffee. Anytime now. Start making my move there. Hopefully this is the right place. I believe it is. There's a little spot right there. Alright. I don't know why I have it set to choose. So if we choose, where do you need it? Oh, it's going to be over to the left there a little bit, so you have to go up. I mean, and then play it safe is right there. I mean, we'll try for where do you need it. I don't normally do the where do you need it ones because I almost always spend way too much time doing it, but we'll try today. There we go. Rosmark. We're at the loading dock here. Yeah, I never know which way is the best way to do this. I don't do it enough. I feel like this could work, but it's hard to see in the hard to see well enough in the mirrors, I guess. Because I can't tell. Looks like we're not going to hit anything. Let's just straighten out here a little bit, just in case. This is where I'd want to get out of the truck and take a quick little peek. I can't tell. I think we're a little far over. And by little, I mean a lot. Let's go this way. Bring that trailer around. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm not gonna accept that. Let me straighten out a little bit here. Jeez. That was just horrible. Alright. And in reality, you would have to straighten out anyway, so. There we go. Hit the dock. Parking brake on. Stop the engine. Unload. How was I late? I got 3 tickets. 23 minutes late. Give me a break. That's ridiculous. I did not take my time at all with that one, too. I got speeding tickets even. Can't believe that. $628. Or euros, I should say. Goodness gracious. Anyways, folks, that'll be it for me for today. My name's Ian Robson. I hope you enjoyed that little episode of European Truck Simulator, going to this Pskov to Rezekne, whoever you're supposed to say that. I don't know. I'm not from Latvia. I apologize if you're from Latvia. That'll be it for me for today. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for some more ETS2. I'll catch you guys later.